I want to give massive thanks to all of my supporting members and patrons. Thank you all so very much. Hello, good evening and welcome. And Dora and Coo, you're going the right way for a smack bottom. What do you mean? When was the last time the show started with the muted Mr. Sensible? It's been at least... hold on. Yeah. It's been at least 8 days. You got me worried there. Yeah, so you watch yourself, eh? And FE peer review, yeah, I'm sorry you missed the film stream. That was good fun, that one. And if anyone hasn't seen it, please check out the partner channel, the sister channel, which is me and my wife, Sal, reacting to movies when we see them for the first time. The one we had tonight was let's try that, that's a bit better. First time watching of Snakes on a Plane with Samuel L. Jackson. Brilliant stuff, really enjoyed it. Well, I did anyway. Mrs. S is petrified of snakes. So, it's worth a watch, that one. A few more hellos. One sin, hello to you. Jeff C, Robski, Chris Cowellia. I hope I said that right, Chris. Greetings to you. Colon, Flerf. The Rantmeister is in the house. Skipping by, Brian Pop Robson, Q Branch. Hello, pal. Hello to Mrs. Q and all the cats. Oh, yeah. Q's a good man. He's got cats. And there was someone I wanted to say a special hello to, scrolling back, and I've probably missed him now. I have missed him. I did reply. Oh, right. Simon Brayson, who said, hope you're well, sir. Not often I get to watch live. Thumbs up, thumbs up. Well, I'm glad you're here tonight, Simon. And I've just seen, I have to scroll back down again. Judy Bassett has got a free member super chat ready for the fun. Judy, thanks ever so much for all your support. You know I appreciate it. And it was good to see you pop in on the first time watching as well. Please check out the channel, like, subscribe, and tell your friends. It's really pleasing to see the responses from people. Mrs. S is still a bit shy about the whole thing. She doesn't want anyone we know to know about it. But slowly, they're starting to find out. Slowly. Skits Crasher, hello! And VTuberzumi, hey. Steve Butler, evening. Flow Rider, no less. And Purple Snowdrop. Yeah, well, the good thing about YouTube is even if you missed it, you can watch it later. Please do. And Just Call Me Avi and someone else said, what have we got on tonight? Well, not a lot is planned tonight, but a couple of items. I was sent a message tonight from none other than... perhaps he should remain nameless. Who shall remain nameless. Give me a heads up. It appears that a flat earther has done a video about me and about another globie. And in it, I've been psychoanalyzed. So I shall be doing a response. And to be honest, I think I'll be putting that video together tomorrow, which is Wednesday. So it'll either be out tomorrow night or Thursday. Psychoanalyzed by Flat Earther. It's going to point out what's wrong with me, why I'm a hypocrite. Should be interesting. Very interesting. I'm looking forward to doing that one, actually. I don't think you're supposed to laugh at a psychoanalysis of yourself, though, are you? Maybe, because I did laugh, I should be psychoanalyzed. Who knows? But it was fun. And I might do a little bit of psychoanalysis going back the other way. I shall read a book by that guy. What's he called? Oh, the Fruit Dude. Yeah. I think it's all to do with his fantasy about his mother, you know? Yeah. Analysed by Flerf. The one sin. It was interesting. It'd be interesting to see if I make any changes to my life because of his psychoanalysis. It'd be interesting to see if I give up a globe and go back flat and stay flat, or whatever it is they waffle on about. What else? I see that Nathan Oakley's still banging on about curved adjacents, and his channel's turning a bit more goddish, which is not something I'm particularly interested in. It's a flat analysis, says Mr. 42. Yes. Well, Dora, it could be that I'm a one-dimensional character. They certainly can't see in 3D, can they? Who's a hoopy frood? Well, I am. I know where my towel is. It's up on the bathroom radiator. So I should have it with me, but at least I do know where my towel is. Oakley has 10 viewers right now. Get the shovel. 10 viewers. He hasn't, has he? He's good. Things are looking up for him then. Things are looking up. And we're joined once again by Crumpy Ol' Gunt. I have to say that name really carefully. Clever name, pal. It's a clever name. Anyway, we've got a whole bunch of people in the live waiting room. A few names I haven't seen before. So, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to bring a couple of people in who've not been on before. But first of all, I want to get into particular ones. So let me just drag them, kicking and screaming. It's two people, because it's in connection with this psychoanalysis thing. So I'm going to bring in Mr. 42 first of all, who actually told me of this, and then I'm going to bring in the other Globy, who's also been psychoanalysed. So here we go, Mr. 42, hello to you. If you remember to unmute your mic. If you remember to unmute your mic.
Hello, good evening.
I thought we were dealing with amateurs then for a second.
No, I was watching the YouTube stream and there's a delay.
There is a delay.
So I wasn't aware that I was dragged in here.
No, you weren't.
I had muted Discord actually.
Yes. Never mind. That's all
because
fine.
People were talking in live stream, so I didn't hear you.
Yeah,
so I muted the whole.
It's fine, my friend. It's fine. So how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you and yourself?
Well, now I've been psychoanalysed, I feel much better.
Okay.
Thank you for the heads up on that. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I saw it popping up in my list, and I checked what it was about because the thumbnail didn't say much, and I noticed it is about you. So that's the moment I shared it with you.
And I really did lol when I watched it. I managed to watch it just prior to the first time watching video stream. And what I'm also going to do is bring in Ranty Flat Earth, who, of course, was the other person who was psychoanalysed. Ranty, good evening to you.
Good evening. How is everybody today?
I'm fine, and you, sir?
Yeah, I'm feeling good actually. I'm ready to have a little chat with you guys.
Good.
Mr. 42, how's it going? We haven't spoke for ages.
Yeah, we haven't talked in ages indeed. I'm fine, thank you. I've just been a little bit busy. But everything fine and it's all steady. So don't worry about me.
Well, I'm glad you're both here because, of course, Ranty, I don't think you know, but it was Mr. 42 who told me about that psychoanalysis, and then I forwarded it on to you because you're the other guy he psychoanalysed. Do you feel better for a psychoanalysis on yourself?
Well, I would have done if there was any psychoanalysis to have been done there, because when I listened to what he had to say about me, there was no psychoanalysis done. It was literally him just making some word salad up to try and bash me. It was quite funny, actually.
Well, I'm being quite careful because I'm not going to talk about what he actually said about me, and I won't mention anything of what he said about you. I'll leave that up to you if you wish to reveal at this time, because I shall be doing a response video to my portion. I don't know about you.
Oh, I think I'll have to respond because, essentially he didn't say anything. So, I mean, imagine being called out for something and having nothing to call you out on. I mean, that's great content as far as I'm concerned.
Well, that's about what happens.
That's typical pretty much behaviour.
Yeah, I was going to say that's pretty much what happens all the time, isn't it? They call out the globe Earth armed with nothing. Nothing at all.
It was funny.
It was. Like I said, I think I'll do that tomorrow. I look forward to that, and I hope other people will. I will just read out a super chat I've had from Chris Holmes for £4.49. Thank you, Chris. Who painted Flat Earth on the road signs on the A1 southbound in Yorkshire? Would anyone like to sponsor me in overpainting the defacement?
Picture it didn't happen.
Well, I had a picture of one, didn't I, up in Scotland? I posted that on my community board some time back. I forgot what it said, stay flat or something, on some road sign. Apparently it's quite well known. There was someone up in Scotland way who was quite regular for doing that sort of thing. But there we go. I did also make a post on my community board, and I forgot what it was about. Oh yes. And Ranty, you're involved in this as well. You got your fingers in lots of pies. That message you sent me earlier on today, that Jeranism's invited me to a debate.
It's absolutely crazy. It seems like my fingers in so many pies at the minute. And yeah, I got a message out of the blue. I'd actually sent Jeran a message. Hang on, let me just.
He wasn't happy with you, was he?
Well, no.
Because I redacted on my community board. I redacted that because it's not a message to me, but in it was the invite. So I've shown the invite. But yeah, he was in discussions with you about something, wasn't he?
Well, on the 17th of December, I messaged him and I said, Mr. Sensible would like to debate you. Would you be up for it? And I heard nothing back for it in all that time. So what we're looking at now, we're looking at an entire month has gone by. And then he obviously watched the video that I did for Simon Dan.
Dan.
And he was incredibly upset. More so about the fact that I wore the NASA hoodie.
Well, you have to. It's part of the sponsorship deal, isn't it? You got no choice.
But the thing is, I remember doing a video. It was maybe a week and a half ago for MC Toon. I actually was so impressed by his breakdown of that scammer that he took on, and the one thing that I pointed out through it was the fact that flat earthers will forgive almost anything. They could do anything and they will be brought back to the community. But if you wear a NASA t-shirt, that's it, it's game over. And I said that on the video. And then I get this message from Jeran and he's fuming about this. He's fuming about the hoodie, the NASA t-shirt. I mean, that was it.
Why should
it was
he care?
like
They wear stay flat crap t-shirts and stuff. We don't get angry about that. We point and laugh at them.
Well, it's always been the same. Flat earthers, for whatever, I don't get it myself because it never used to trigger me. I wasn't too fussed what you wore. You could wear anything within reason, obviously. You could wear anything. But NASA didn't bother me. But for a lot of flat earthers, it really does. And being on the other side of the fence now and actually wearing this hoodie, I'm actually seeing it firsthand. The typical faces coming out of the woodwork and making comments on it. So I actually did a community post on it saying, who wants to support me buying some more NASA stuff? I mean, why not? Let's get a cap on and everything like that if it triggers them so much. I'll buy a whole new wardrobe of it and I'll be wearing them on every video.
Well, I've got a Nessie NASA t-shirt I got in Scotland. It didn't really fit, but I had to buy it. Aside from that, I've only got my leather NASA embossed boxer shorts. Apart from that, I haven't got anything. What are you laughing at?
I was going to say that everyone should wear all of their NASA stuff, but I think if you were going to do a video and you was to, put all your NASA stuff on, I don't think it'd go down very well. You have to wear your boxer shorts.
Oh dear. Never mind. If it triggers them, it's got to be worth a shout, hasn't it?
It has. I think we should have a NASA month where all the debunkers wear NASA stuff, just to totally trigger the flat earthers.
Well, I'm going to ask you, Ranty. He has Jeranism has invited me. Do you reckon he's going to back out? Because I straight away I emailed him and said, "Yep, I'm up for it. Thank you very much. Yep, it can be on your channel." And it was a polite email, and I would very much like a debate.
I think because you are a nice person to get on with, he wouldn't have you on. Because
wouldn't have me on. Ooh.
Yeah, because if it was right, think of it this way from his perspective, right? He wants to be able to do.
Oh, please don't use that word, Ranty. Please don't use that word. Perspective.
Perspective.
Yeah, sorry. Go on.
So from his point of view,
at what angle?
What angle? The limited angle. So Nathan Oakley came on to have a chat with them on the Globebusters channel. Nathan Oakley got really annoyed with them, basically backstabbed them there on their show, and he got unceremoniously kicked off of that Globebusters stream, right? Never to return. And if Fight the Flat Earth actually got on there, you could imagine that his persona would also lead to a very quick exit. Whereas with you, because you're a very nice guy to get along with, you can hold a conversation, you don't get riled, you're not going to do any swear words or cuss words. If he's got 500 or 600 people watching, he isn't going to have that opportunity to kick you off because you're not going to misbehave. So all you're going to be doing is bringing facts to the table. I
Damn
imagine you're probably
pesky
going to
facts.
ask him. You're probably going to ask him. Yeah, I mean, maybe bring up his own evidence. You know, the one where he had to raise the light up a little bit. And ask him, say, look, your hypothesis said that, you know, if you can't see the light from lower down, then it's obviously a globe, and if you can see it from higher up, it's flat, and you didn't see it from higher up. So
even my pneumonia vaccination.
Sorry guys, I accidentally jumped out the room, so I cut you off.
I noticed.
Say again.
So yeah, so what I'm saying is that I don't think he'd have you on because you are too. You would be very difficult to remove without it looking bad on him.
Ooh, that's interesting, isn't it? Not getting invited on because you can't get kicked off.
Yes, because you would be too.
Interesting.
You would be too good for him.
Well, we shall see. We shall see. Because he's issued an invite, hasn't he? And I've accepted.
Certainly has.
I've accepted, and it's now widely known.
It's going to get you more widely known because I think Fight might want to talk about it, and Team Skeptic perhaps. And,
Excellent.
Yeah, it might be worth a few other people talking about it and prompting Jonism to uphold his offer.
Yeah. Yes. Well, I haven't let anyone like Fight or whoever know directly. I've just posted on my community board, which they may or may not see. So yeah, it's a good thought. I need to let them know.
Oh yeah, I mean it's quite. I mean, can you actually post the actual wording so that it can be, so that people can actually see what he said?
Not right now.
Would you like me to tell it verbatim what he said then?
Well, you can read that as much or as little of it as you wish. Yeah, go ahead. That'll probably be the easiest way. People can see my portion of the message on my community page. But yeah, go ahead, Renty.
Okay, so on the 17th of December, I said, Mr. Sensible would like to debate you. Would you be up for it? And I heard nothing for an entire month until today. And he spent the first 3/4 of the message shouting and bawling at me and crying. And the last part, he actually got around to answering the question which I'd originally asked him a month ago. And so continuing from that, it would be, and no, I have no desire to go there with Mr. Sensible. In other words, to your channel.
Yeah.
But he should come on my show for a debate. They may start on Saturday.
Yeah, and about 30 seconds later, I'd sent him an email to say, "Yep, I'm up for it."
But he should come on my show. That is an open invitation.
It is indeed.
That isn't even with it. That is no, ifs or ands. But he should is a very affirmative.
Yeah, and I'm definitely up for it. So I've politely asked if he wants to. Is there any aspect in particular he wants to cover? For instance, just sake of argument, sextants or space, with NASA ISS rockets and stuff, or just general flat Earth, globe Earth. I'm up for anything really.
Okay. Well, I think his. If he was to say that each Flerf had their own speciality, for him, more than anything, his favourite subject is space.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Yeah. So
and that's cool.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'd also want to bring up his own behind the curve documentary experiment that he did, and ask him. Look, you made a prediction, and the prediction proved the globe. How come you're still a flat earther?
Very interesting.
Oh, can I just say as well?
Yeah.
I want to do a big shout out to my channel, which just passed 8,000 subscribers.
Yay! That's pretty nice and quick, isn't it, pal? Building up
Yeah,
nicely. What was your old channel like? What was that on?
5,300, I think.
So you've beaten the old one.
Yeah,
Nice one.
I'd just beaten it on this before I went on Simon Dan's as well. I think I was on 5,300 or something like that. So it was just about the same.
Yeah.
And with obviously with Simon Dan's massive boost, I've put on nearly 3,000 subscribers. I can't be happier. So
No, that's right. Yeah, you go on Dan's. It tends to help a bit, doesn't it?
oh, yeah. I mean, he's been exceptionally, sort of like open arms kind of thing, and he allowed me to produce whatever I wanted. Really, he didn't have any input in it. He said, if you wanted to, I actually wrote the script, funnily enough, 7 times. So I had different scripts that I'd written for his audience, and a lot of them included things like the C word that you can't talk about at the minute, that thing that's going around. But even when I said to him, look, I wouldn't mind talking about that and discussing that a little bit more, and some of these other conspiracies, and mentioning him by name, and he was like, look, just say it if that's what you want to do. He wasn't bothered whether he didn't get monetized for the video.
Yeah.
So he was prepared to lose any kind of ad revenue.
The thing is,
and I thought, well, no, actually, no, I'm not going to put him in that situation. So I actually made it a lot toned down. I changed the script around a lot, and eventually came upon a script that I knew would pass monetization for him.
Yeah.
But he was so open about, just whatever you want to produce, you do it. I'll put it out there.
Well, I mean, the thing is, you can use that word, and I have used that word, but there's always the risk that we picked up. But then you'd have to challenge it, and most people then have successfully challenged it when they're obviously arguing from the side of common sense, medical science, and so on. But yeah, it can be a bit of a hassle, can't it? And by the way, Gary Wybenga has just put a shout out for his channel. He says it's a good way to actually see how perspective actually works. Well, there you go, Barry. You've got Barry, Gary. Even you've got your self-shill out on my channel. All right, I'm sure that your channel will be flooded with a sub. Okay, excellent. Yeah. So
Irish Demon's doing well as well. I mean, his subscriber count is
what's he on now?
13,300.
Good grief, he's rocketed up, hasn't he?
In just over a week or so, he's put on about 8,000 subscribers.
In a week? What did he do?
He did a series of different videos about that Glenn Serio auditing the USA guy, and he obviously got in at the right time with the right video at the right moment. He found the body cam footage of the police arresting Glenn Serio, and of course nobody else had that. So when he puts out body cam footage, I think that video blew up. He got 35,000 views or something, and yeah, so he's done really well. So looks like he's going places.
Nice one.
Yeah.
I did see that recently on your community board you put a question about what people wanted to see, for instance flat earth, soft sit, and other things. But flat earth topped the list, didn't it?
Yeah, that surprised me actually, because when you see how big the soft sits blow up, well, do you know what that tells me though? That just tells me that our audience for flat Earth is pretty small in the big scheme of things compared to the soft sit, and people wanting to see, the amount of volume of people wanting to see the soft sit versus the volume of people want to see in debunking flat
I think
Earth.
It's a very loyal community we got here.
Yes.
In the flat versus globe community, globe side. I don't think they're very loyal to each other on the flat side. Oh dear.
No. They would eat your children. They would eat your children, I think, the flat earthers.
And of course the soft sit is bigger, but those are not the people who saw your poll probably.
Well, Martin H says flat earth can be funny, but soft sits and virus deniers are too infuriating. I know where you're coming from. I mean, I've done a COVID Karen when I was guesting for Creaky Blinder, and that video did very well. And the way I played it was with my typical gently taking a piss out of them, But it did very well. I think it does catch audiences. I don't know how much of an overlap there is. I do keep an eye out for anything suitable, because I've done that COVID Karen, and I did Santos Bonacci, sovereign citizen, when he was arrested.
Yeah.
And that video did very well as well. But I would be loath to suddenly change my channel to Sovereign Citizen or Karen or COVID Deniers and stuff like that. I might throw a little bit of that in from time to time, but I don't know. I mean, obviously Team Skeptic's done very well with all the Karen stuff.
Yeah. I think the thing is, if you wanted a really big channel and you wanted to grow quickly, then you've got, you would do the Sovcit Karen videos, because look at how well, just like I say, in the past week, Irish Demon, how his has blown up, how Schrodinger's cat, what's he called, Creaky Blinder.
Yeah.
Mr. I was going to say, Team Skeptic, they've all blown up. They've all blown up because they changed ships. They went from flat Earth debunking to this, and it's the niche to go in if you want to really get your channel up there quickly.
Tell that to Dan.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, yeah, he's the anomaly, right? He's the anomaly for that, for sure.
Do you know what? Someone's just said something really nice in there. Theofungi said, Mr. S, it's not even just the Flerf and soft sit stuff. You're a brilliant presenter and a good pub mate. Thank you. That really touches me. I'm really grateful for that. I appreciate that. Thank you. And I've just, since I've interrupted, just had a super chat from GFC for 5 Canadian shiny dollars. Medical misinformation should be high on the list. I agree. I mean, the whole thing about medical information, the misleading of people with all this crap about Charlie 19 really gets my goat too, because it is actually, I mean, I'm concerned about Flat Earth being a gateway conspiracy that leads on to others, which leads to harm, but that's direct harm to people. It really is. And I had a message from Mohammed Shafiq. I shout out his channel regularly. He's tackled lots of these conspiracy nuts like Piers Corbyn, Kate Shemirani and so on, and others as well. And apparently Piers Corbyn has been arrested again, and I saw on some news website he's due in court in May for COVID-19 breaches during protests, anti-lockdown protests in London. Yes.
Piers Corbyn, was he the Labour?
He's the brother of Jeremy Corbyn. Yeah, elder brother.
Yeah, but what about Boris Johnson? What about that? What about what was going on in number 10 last year?
Know.
What?
I don't know. It's not. It's not wise, is it?
No. Whilst the Queen's burying her husband of 70 years, and she's having to bury him sitting on a pew on her own with nobody around her, sat there on her own. Whilst the night before, those guys were having a smash-up party,
yes.
Getting all wasted in number 10.
Well, I heard an interview with an ex-senior civil servant, and he said a very proper thing. He said, don't do anything and don't say anything that you wouldn't want to see plastered across the newspapers the next morning. If you follow that rule, you're generally going to be okay. Yeah. Well, let's get a couple of people in, because we got some new people in the live waiting room. So there's a couple there. I'm going to bring in Miss Zumi. Miss Zumi, hello to you if you're in here.
Hello.
Hello, Miss Zumi.
Hello. On a side note, Miss Sensible, can you turn on your camera in Discord again, please?
Oh, that gone off, has it? 1 second.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then continue.
Oh, there we go. Hopefully that helps.
Thank you.
There we go.
Ah, Miss Zumi, is that another name change?
Yeah.
I recognise your voice. I didn't recognise the name. and I'm also going to bring in, hello to you again, and I'm going to bring in Peter Afanas, a.k.a., and I can't read the rest of the name.
Oh, hello, Mr. S.
Charlie. Hello, Peter Afanas. How are you?
Oh, I'm fine. You?
Yeah, sorry, just say something else. I'll check your volume. Yeah?
I'm fine.
That looks good.
Greetings from Germany.
Guten Abend.
Grüßen aus Deutschland, jawohl.
Guten Abend.
Last time you tried to pull me in,
Yeah.
but I wasn't in the room.
Ah. But
And
you are this time.
you know what? Next time, so I don't miss you, I do the Riley.
You do the what?
The Riley.
Oh God.
He's gonna take his headset while pissing.
Oh, I thought you meant you were gonna
Yeah,
have
do you
golden
need a
stream
bottle?
on stream. Do you need a bottle or a cup? A coffee cup?
Stream on stream.
Streamception.
So, Peter, you're from Germany. Do you have a channel?
No, I don't have a channel. I'm only a watcher.
A watcher. And what are you a watcher of?
Oh, a lot of things. I like science fiction. I like Mr. 42 and his Enterprise D background.
Very good.
Hey, hold
Very
on. He
good.
stole that from me.
What?
Yes.
No,
He stole that from me. Definitely. Didn't you, 42?
I did not.
Well, I might have to prove it.
Yeah.
We just have a big overlap in our interests.
Is that right? Is that what it is?
That is a fact.
And I really love the debunking stuff. Out in my 20s, so 20 years ago, I started to look into this whole conspiracy stuff. It was on the September 11th.
Okay.
So I looked into it and got deeper down the rabbit hole, but I'm glad that I never get to flat Earth and those
Yeah.
shit.
It definitely is. I mean, a gateway conspiracy to so much more. Would you agree, Ranty?
Yeah.
Oh, he's gone mute.
Yeah,
Oh,
hold on. No, I'm here. I'm here. Actually, I'm going to let you guys in on a little secret because I'm actually working on a video, and right. So here's the secret, right? So when I went on Simon Dan's, I had I wanted to enlighten people to obviously what it's like to be a flat earther, how you can get into conspiracies, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I also wanted, one of the main questions that I always get asked is, how come you ended up falling for flat earth? You seem like a reasonably smart fella. How come you ended up as a flat earther? I don't get it. And how can you be so stupid to fall for flat earth? Right? So in order to try and make my point, part of my video I actually talked about 9/11. But I said it in a way where I didn't actually confirm or deny which way I believed that conspiracy or didn't believe that conspiracy, right? So I left it open because I didn't actually make a claim about it. But the way that I talked about it, you would think that I would be saying that 9/11 was, in fact, the way I actually said it was, basically, if you believe 9/11 and you believe the conspiracy behind 9/11, you would be saying that the US government would be behind all that, right? Now, I knew that some people in Simon Dan's audience would believe in the 9/11 conspiracy and still be grounded in reality without actually having believed flat Earth. So a bit like what you've just said now, actually. So I sort of preempted that, and I was looking at through the comments, and I've saved all the comments where people have spoken about that, saying that I can't believe that you had somebody on saying that 9/11 wasn't true. It absolutely was, blah, 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 blah. Because I'm going to use that, because that was all part of the bigger plan, because I can then use that to say, look, people are not immune to believing in conspiracies, whether you believe it or you don't. And if you choose to believe 9/11 happened, and you choose to believe that the US government were behind that or had a part in that, then you are already a conspiracy theorist, right? Whether you like it or you don't, right? Whether you believe it or you don't. But then you still get on with your everyday life. You don't think any more of it. You still pay your taxes. You get on with everything. Whereas the other part of the conspiracy would be that people have followed that on. They've looked at that conspiracy. They've agreed, let's say, with yourself and said, okay, we believe 9/11 was a real event. And then they've looked at other events and they've tied that into that one conspiracy, and they always fall back on that as a backup, as a default position, because they can always go back to it and say, I know that this didn't happen the way that happened, so this conspiracy could quite possibly be linked back to that, right? And because you have that always default position, and I would say that 90% of people that I know in the flat Earth community all started their journey from 9/11. At least 90%, probably more. So the fact that that is still such a big thing, that a vast majority of people believe that was a real event, that the US government were a part of that. It's just that some people have carried on the digging for other conspiracies to look into too, and just because you were clever enough, because you'd been to school and you'd gone through the sciences and stuff like that, and maybe your upbringing and how your life panned out, you didn't end up going down flat Earth route. But if you didn't have the science background and you were in a vulnerable state in your life, and you did the same as yourself, and you looked into 9/11 and you believed it, and then you looked into another conspiracy and you started to believe that too, just because you didn't have the same scientific background as somebody else. So we're all the same, we're all susceptible to conspiracies.
It's still unbelievable that anyone could think that there would be a false flag operation to that extent against buildings with thousands of people on in your own capital. Well, do you know what I mean? In a major city like that, it's just gobsmacking that someone can believe. They literally will believe anything.
But I do hear a big difference, Randy. If you talk about 9/11, there are a lot of things that we don't know. There's a lot of stuff that is hidden by the governments, because that is what governments do. Yeah. But when you talk about flat Earth, there is facts that are verifiable that get denied by the flat Earth. That is a big difference, in my opinion.
Because the journey to being a flat earther doesn't just jump from 9/11 to flat Earth. It jumps from. Course. So the last thing you probably look into is flat Earth, and I think most people I've spoken to have also had that same journey where they thought flat Earth was ridiculous. They were never going to look into it. It was a bit like what I did, and you looked at all the other conspiracies. But after diving into each conspiracy and sort of like looking and being pressured into watching them, because when you turned on YouTube back in the day, you were just getting loads of videos from different places saying watch this, watch that. Your feed was just filled with them, so you'd spend your day watching these conspiracies, and flat Earth kept popping up, but other things were popping up. You'd have Nibiru, you'd have and that was interesting. Nibiru was interesting. It was like, I didn't have to believe it.
No, but
it was just fantastical. It was kind of like that's that part of your brain that's looking for a little bit of a journey, a bit of it, a bit of something out of this world, and that was what it was offering you. And then they went into other things, like then you moved on to the chemtrails, and then you moved on to I don't know, all kinds of stuff. Then they go up and they bring up Kennedy, the Kennedy assassination, and all this kind of stuff. So a lot of things that are quite possible to be true were mixed in with a lot of things that weren't, and trying to decipher what was real and what wasn't at that time was really difficult, because you were being pushed it so much with people like Infowars and David Icke and people like that, Richie from Boston. I mean,
David Icke, the ex-footballer, football commentator who decided to wear mauve and claimed he was the son of God. That David Icke.
That David Icke, yeah.
That one, yeah.
But let me just say, in the conspiracy community, he would put information out, and then other people would elaborate on that and put other videos out too, and maybe their video would blow up 3 times bigger than the original David Icke one, and you'd end up watching that, but it all stemmed back from David Icke. And
or Alex Jones.
And one thing you'd also find is that you would meet people in the chats and you'd see the same commentary, people talking in the chats and leaving comments and stuff like that, and you kind of, they would suggest things and they'd link you to other places. So the journey to flat Earth wasn't 9/11 flat Earth. It was 9/11 and a bunch of other conspiracies that may be tied back loosely to some agenda or something. And over a period of years, because it took years anyway to get me to that point, I was then ready to look at a flat Earth video. And so believing some conspiracy, and obviously a lot of these things, like the chemtrails and stuff like that, I mean, geoengineering happens, but it's the bad side of what they're putting out. They're putting out that chemtrails are designed to neutralize your genes so that you can't produce children.
But the dumb thing about that, Ranty, is geoengineering, like cloud seeding, for instance, is successful to a certain extent, a very small extent, really. But if you were wanting to affect people's genes and perhaps fertility or whatever, the last thing you're going to do is spray it into the air where that you are reliant on breathing in as well.
Yes,
that
just
does not make sense.
Drinking water. You would put it in the drinking water. Really, is the first thing you would do.
Well, let me just finish what I was saying with the chemtrail story, which was that. Because I was looking into chemtrails quite a lot, in the early 2000s, so I was a part of a few different groups, and, my original channel was about chemtrails and stuff like this, so I was well into that sort of like idea. And the reason I was into that was because of the denial of cloud seeding back then, right? So even though we know cloud seeding happens now...
Denial... I mean, I've known about cloud seeding for years. I wasn't aware that it was sort of hidden or whatever.
It was heavily denied. I mean, we knew that there was an event back in the 1960s that washed away, or 1950s or something, that just created a torrential downpour that basically wiped an entire village off the map in the UK. Right, and that all stems back from them testing out.
Yeah, go on. What village? What are you talking about, Ranty? I'm just a little concerned in case that's something that I don't know. But it sounds concerning in case it's something that you've been led to believe, and perhaps you've sort of debunked yourself of. I mean, I don't know.
Well, no, I believe this to be true from all my research anyway, and I can't recall it perfectly because my memory isn't the best, and it was a long time ago when I was looking into these. But from my recollection, it was something to do with the British government were doing some experimental testing with some cloud seeding stuff, and the test went wrong, and instead of a little bit of rain, it caused a fucking flood, right? And I'd have to research, I'd have to look into it, I'd have to find it again. I can definitely send you the information. Give me a couple of days, I'll find it for you again.
Really? A couple of days? I've found it already, mate.
Well, there you go.
I can see a story here. August 15th, 1952. Worst flash floods ever to have occurred in Britain. Swept through Devon village of Lynmouth. 35 people died as 90 million tonnes of water and thousands of tonnes of rock poured off saturated Exmoor, destroying homes, bridges, shops. It was officially termed the hand of God, but classified government files suggest international scientists working with the RAF experimenting with artificial rainmaking.
Okay, so...
in the same week and could possibly be implicated. So there is a story about it. So, not being funny, at least it's not that it's totally untrue, nothing happened, and you're totally wrong. There was an incident. Yeah. So it'd be interesting to know more about it. That's the first I've heard of it. Interesting.
So anyway, so we've known for a long time that, they've been trying to cloud seed and do stuff like this. It's just that, like you say, that was originally classified, and then, it wasn't even. It was maybe only even as few as 8 years ago or something like that when they actually started to release documentation that suggested that they were able to cloud seed properly. So for years, the chemtrailing community had been saying, "Hey, they're going out in the cloud seeds and they're putting all this other stuff in." And then the mainstream narrative was that, no, we're not doing anything. We're doing nothing at all. There's nothing happening. And all the debunkers out there were saying, nah, don't be ridiculous. It's just water that's coming out of the back of the plane. That's all you see. And they're not doing any cloud seeding at all. So for years, there was the chemtrailing community arguing that this was going on. And there was absolute silence from everywhere else and utter denial. So inside of that, you had this additional agenda that people would latch onto and say, hey, well, they're also putting these chemicals in that are doing this bad to you and this bad to you and this bad to you, because they could do, because it was being completely denied. And of course, now that documentation proves that they can actually cloud seed. I mean, Kim Jong-un, when he did his just a few weeks ago, basically they flew over where he was going to do this parade or something, and they spent a couple of days cloud seeding there to make sure that the weather was absolutely clear. It was absolutely fine, and that was released in the papers. So
if cloud seeding was that effective, wouldn't we be doing that all the time to prevent droughts?
Yeah.
Or maybe causing droughts. The other thing that people will then look into.
Sorry, Renty, I do want to read out a super chat from some old dude for $2 saying, hello all, hope you're all doing fine. Yes, indeed, some old dude. Appreciate that. I do think it's really interesting, and I've never had any doubt that there is or can be cloud seeding, but I agree. I think, was that you, Misumi, just said about if it was effective, they'd be doing. Yeah. I mean, it's not a very reliable or effective thing. And back in, according to that, it was the early 50s rather than 60s. But I mean, I understand. Things were a lot more secret. Governments were able to keep secrets. I mean, hey, we were not long out of the war, and I mean, look at the whole thing with Enigma and the bomb. Decoding that was kept secret for decades and decades before they released it, and of course, as I think 42 said, governments do keep things secret, usually and hopefully for the protection and well-being of a country, although I'm sure that sometimes it's very convenient to cover up something that went wrong as well. Hello? Is anyone here? Hello? Oh dear. Have I just died? Hello. I don't know if... Guys, I'm going to reload my Discord. I'm not sure what's happened there. Just forgive me a second. I'll pop back in. Oh, no, I think my Discord might have totally locked up. Let's kill it. If I can even find it. That's really spooky. No, a whole bunch of stuff on my computer's locked up. Even Task Manager doesn't want to work. Oh no! I can't move my YouTube. Can you hear me? Can you give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you can hear me on the stream, please? I'm okay. I'm not in the Discord server. Oh, I'm showing it. Yeah, my Discord, my browsers have locked up. Half my computer's locked up. That's really weird. OBS is still looking okay. I'm still looking at the stream, but I can't change tabs on my Windows. I can't do anything with Discord. Right, we're going to go for it. Right, I'm going to do a quick reload. The stream will drop out for 30 seconds, alright? I'll be as quick as I can. Oh, guess what? I can't even reload the machine. The start button's gone. Well, has anyone got a deck of cards? Right, I'm going to press... I'm not in Discord yet. What I'm going to do is I'm going to press the big red button. Okay? Fingers crossed. But before I do, I'll read our super chat that's just come from Marius for £5. Can chemtards give a composition to these chemicals they claim exist in chemtrails? Hold that thought. I'll be back as quick as I can. Fingers crossed. And then I asked something and no one answered. I thought, what on earth is going on?
But we never heard the super chat, so...
Oh, you guys didn't, but I did read them on the stream because the stream could still hear me.
Yep, the stream is live again.
Yep, the stream is live again.
Yay. Right, so let's make sure I'm back on Discord properly. In there. My camera's not going now, is it? Is it? There we go.
Yeah, you're on.
Yeah.
No, I meant on Discord.
Now you are, yeah.
Okay. And I will read out that super chat just in case. Hi guys, thank you everyone. I don't know really what happened. It appears that my PC just decided for no good reason to lock up. The current theory is because we were talking about chemtrails. And I will read that super chat. There was two super chats. There's one from some old dude for $2, said hello all, hope you're all doing fine. A little bit better now, thank you some old dude. And from there's another one. It was Marius for £5. Can chemtards give a composition of these chemicals that they claim exist in chemtrails? There we go. So anyway,
two
we're all
of 'em-
back.
two-
Not many people
two
have
of 'em-
died during the making of this stream, apart from me.
Two of them that I know of, that conspirators usually use for that is aluminum and barium, which aluminum and barium have no real alloy, so there's no way to actually mix the two.
Because I think most of cloud seeding is literally to be fine particles for moisture to form around to form drops. In effect, dusting.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
basically it's just crop dusting, essentially. It's crop dusting on clouds.
Strange, eh?
I think a lot of the reasons why these old chemtrail channels blew up, like we were saying when we were off air, is because the debunking community refused to acknowledge that cloud seeding was even possible, or like that event that happened in 1952 was even a real thing. There was a lot of denial about it, because what I'm finding is it seems like everything has to be black and white. There has to be one truth and one lie, and there can never be any middle ground. But the one thing I'm definitely finding on this journey is that, there are a lot of truths mixed inside the conspiracy community that are really denied heavily by the debunking community. But then it all comes out eventually, and then everyone just moves on like it was no big deal in the first place. But that's what makes people so frustrated in the conspiracy community, is that there probably was a lot of conspiracies that are true, but there are a lot that aren't.
Like the Tuskegee experiments, that was a conspiracy theory that was proven true. Agent Orange, that's another conspiracy theory that was proven true. There's plenty of conspiracy theories that do have truth to them, but that doesn't mean all of them are true.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, I think that there often is a kernel of truth, and of course, a lot of the stuff with Area 51. The whole existence of Area 51 was not on record. In effect, it was all a secret. And then, of course, things like whatever I can never remember. It's not a B-2. Is it a B-2 bomber? The one that's like a flying wing?
Yeah,
B-52.
Yeah.
B-52.
No, not a 52, because a 52 was used for.
Oh, the B-2 then.
The super high tech one that you literally cannot fly without computers because it's so
the
unstable.
B2,
That was an Area 51 thing where they tested it. So of course at that point you think they've got to keep it secret. They want one up on the Russians. The longer it can be kept secret, the more useful it is. So
that's the only reason. That's the only reason Area 51 is a secret, is because it's for very, very, very high tech airplane experiments that we don't want other countries knowing about.
Which is for the good of
everyone.
The West. Yes, absolutely.
The one thing that I found with Flat Earth is it's a spin-off of all the other conspiracies. So it's only existed. Well, the only reason it exists is A, because they don't understand optics, right, and how you can see too far, further than the geometric horizon, right? Once you understand that the refraction can and does happen, that's it. That's the argument wrapped up there and then.
Well, apparently Nathan Oakley has debunked the geometric horizon, and he's debunked R. So how are you going to get out of that one?
I actually wanted to do a complete debunk on that. But it's giving all the secrets away if I do that now.
Nathan Oakley couldn't debunk his way out of a wet paper bag.
True. But it's a spin-off. Flat Earth is a spin-off from the other conspiracies. When I say I ended up on Flat Earth, it was because of all these other conspiracies that led me to that, and because I was so science illiterate, and I have to admit I was science illiterate. I didn't do any science at school. I didn't understand it. I thought I was more intelligent than I was in science when I had no idea. I'm a bit like Rachie now, who think, or whoever who thinks that they know about
it's not
science
intelligence.
When they clearly
it's
don't.
not intelligence, though, Ranty, because obviously you are, because when presented with evidence that you couldn't explain, but you understood, you changed your position. So it's not a case of intelligence. It may have been a lack of some knowledge or understanding of, but it's not a lack of intelligence. Otherwise, you'd still be there.
And I have to say, Ranty, I loved your video on Simon Dan the other day. That really opened up my mind to a lot of the conspiratorial mindset and helped me understand, where flat earthers are actually coming from.
Right. Okay. That's good. That's what
Boom.
I'm hoping to achieve.
Yeah.
To be fair, because if I ended up on flat Earth and people consider me to be at least average intelligence, then that tells me that anybody can fall into it, right? And there are
Yeah.
plenty of intelligent people that I know inside of flat Earth, but they are just like I was, misguided, and it all comes from this lack of knowledge about science, and I think if they had that to start with, if they had been gone through the education system properly as a child and understood science properly, then they wouldn't have ended up as a flat earther. It's just that the knowledge they've gained in science has only come from their science education after being indoctrinated and warping everything.
Well, we've had a super chat from Mr. Ben Cado for $2 Australian. That's the upside down dollars, saying the government is onto you. That could be an explanation. So everyone keep this stream secret. Only share it on Facebook, Twitter, and all those other sock media places. Okay?
Oh, I
Don't
shared
tell
it
any
on
government
Discord. Is that
officials
okay?
about it.
What about
And
the Twitter
boom,
gram?
in the room, we've got Jose J.G. Gonzalez. Good evening,
Hey, boom.
Jose.
Hey, Jay.
Hey, what's up? Good afternoon, everybody. All
Boom.
you people on Discord, Mr. Sensible Live, and on the YouTube universe. Shout out to everybody in YouTube chat, even Astro Rex. Boom.
Sorry, I think we got that, but your volume was quite low on my side. I've boosted it. You must have been on previously, Jose, with a louder feed, so I turned you down, but I've boosted you back up. Welcome back, my friend.
Thank you very much. Ranty, have you had a cup of tea yet? You sound worried and you sound stressed out. Relax, man. Have a cup of tea or something.
Actually, now that you say, you're completely right. I was leaning completely forward. I was almost eating my microphone, and I was very tense. You're absolutely true. And I literally, when you came in, I'd sat back in my chair, and I could feel myself relaxing. Honestly, I swear to God, when you said that, I realised how tense I actually was when I was speaking. Unbelievable. I was so.
I got you.
Oh, wow.
Wow. You just gave me a virtual massage, then, mate.
Ooh. Oh, yeah.
Or he has a secret webcam in your room.
Yeah, good night, everybody. No.
Oh, dear. Hey, Jose, don't know if you heard, but Jeranism's invited me to a debate.
That is beautiful. I actually joined maybe around half an hour ago when you just mentioned it. Actually,
okay.
Yeah, I caught the stream like almost in the beginning,
Okay.
So yeah, I heard that. That's very nice, and hopefully it will come to fruition.
I hope so too. It should be good fun. Good fun.
Yeah,
Apparently,
that's good when I recognize character that's been here since the beginning, a name that you mentioned a name. Oh yeah, he, even if the Flat Earther thing he's a shield or agent, or the Glovers thing he's a Poe or plant or whatever it is, he's a recognized name, and it's always fun to talk to somebody like, oh yeah, I've been looking forward for this one, and you have fun. Hopefully it happens for you.
Jeff C says, "Who is this talking?" It's Jose J.G. Gonzalez.
Can I answer that? Can I answer who he is?
Yeah, go on.
So, Jose J.G. Gonzalez is an old friend of mine from the flat earthing community, and he and I were both flat earthers at the same time, and he had a P900, and he went out and he found his proof that showed that the earth was a globe, and that was enough for him to switch sides and become a globe earther, a flip-flop. That's why they call him flip-flop. Anyway, so he had a new channel. It was a debate platform. Unfortunately, he lost that channel. It got hacked. But he started off again. He's got a brand new debate platform. He does amazingly well. Please go and subscribe to him.
I was going to say, can one of the mods please put a link to Jose's channel in there? That would be appreciated.
I think Dora did it already. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Someone's
thank you very much.
Yeah, she did.
I say my one of my goals of this year is that by my birthday I get at least 500 subscribers. Which I don't think it's too bad. I got 465 in like a month. Like people just spun the channel before I haven't even, go around like chilling my channel or nothing. But yeah, people actually found me back, so I appreciate a big good neighborhood over here in YouTube with the community we got going on.
So that's quite interesting. So you were changed by a P900. Ranty, what was the Blackpool Tower taken with?
Randy, clarification for Mr. Sosimo, not just a P900, but it was Jeranism's P900, the one feature, the P900 feature in the Behind the Curve documentary. So my P900 is actually on Netflix, and I own it, and I got it right here. I actually took a few beautiful pictures of the moon last night. So yeah, shout out to the Jeran, I call it.
Yeah, so Ranty, what was the Blackpool Tower photo taken with? Do you recall?
I don't recall. It wasn't my camera, so all I do know is that Bev returned to the location with his P1000 and photographed the same identical image virtually. And it turns out that
Nikon.
location is at. Thanks, Nikon. Yeah. It's always showing that it's got dropped there. So what can you say? You can't deny it. We live on a globe. We live on a globe.
I must admit, though, Ranty, I used to really enjoy the Cats videos with Ranty, Flat Earth Hero, or whatever. What was it he said? What did he call you? Was it
The
Flat
Globe
Earth Hero?
Hero.
Oh,
The Globe Hero.
It was funny.
This is the Adventures of Ranty.
Yes, that's it. But there's no spite there. There's no spite there, is there? It's just gentle. It's mocking and teasing and pointing a finger and laughing. But it was all done in the best possible taste.
And I became his very first Patreon member when he released his Patreon, and I was still a flat earther, and he was still doing videos against me, and I was the Globe Hero and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I wasn't even speaking to him. I had no idea. I didn't even know him on Discord or anything or anywhere.
Oh.
I still became his very first Patreon because I enjoyed his content. Even though he was mocking me, I saw the funny side of it.
Well, that's good. You've got to be able to laugh at yourself.
Yeah.
If you can't laugh at yourself, I mean, hey, this psychoanalysis of yourself and psychoanalysis of me, I wouldn't be addressing it if I couldn't laugh at myself.
Life's too short to be too serious about anything.
Well, see, I look at these people like Nathan Oakley and Nathan Thompson and Nathan Robert. Okay, mostly Nathans, but I look at all these flat earthers and like I've never seen them like laugh at anything or joke around or anything.
Well, I've seen them laugh and joke, but never at themselves.
Yeah, I mean, it's never self-deprecating humor, which is the best kind of humor.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I got a quick comment. When I was in the waiting room right here, 10-15 minutes ago, one of the guys, I think Next Pro, maybe he wasn't him, but let's say Next Pro, he asked me like, "Hey, so what side are you on?" And he's not familiar with me, so and I say like, "I'm an earther." I'm an earther. He's like, an earther? Like, do you flat earther? What are you? What are you on? What are you? I say, I am a human like you, just a human. And he was like, no. But what shape is the earth? What is the shape? I said, the earth is squeaky. Can you hear that? And I did my squeaky globe. And he was like, a little confused. And Colon came to the save. He said, Colon said, "Hey, Jose, what's up?" And I say something, and then he caught up next. He's like, "Oh, you're that Jose from the channel. I'm sorry," but he was questioning me all crazy. But I was giving the best shallow answers ever.
That's quite nice, though, Jose, that you were able to be there with someone who hadn't heard of you before. He must be the only person, of course, but to be able to treat you not knowing if you were flat or globe.
Yeah, and it was nice, I just, kind of answered it very quick, very trollish, shallow answers, but he was cool. He was like, "Oh, no, but no, hold on." Like, he was trying to get more from me. I was like, "Nah, I'm just a human. I'm just like you, an earther." That's good.
Yeah, ever the consummate troll.
If you want to see self-depreciating, you want to see some of the stuff I've done on my videos. I've put an image in general chat, actually. Which shows, that was me when I was a bit chubbier.
Sorry, but that is not your worst. Your shower scene is the worst.
Oh God, yeah. Oh yeah, the farmer one.
Well, when I was on Bev's server a week and a half ago, whatever it was, and I had that debate with about a dozen of them, some guy was speaking, and I couldn't work out which one he was from the icons, and I said, "Are you so and so?" He said, "I'm the guy who keeps making all those memes about you." And the latest one he had was a picture of me, and they'd drawn an angle on my head, and saying that you can't get an angle from a curved adjacent. And I said that's fantastic, because he'd also drawn lines, and I said how beautiful it was, and it showed my natural beauty, because it's absolutely mirror image from side to side with the line, which is supposedly a sign of beauty. I don't know how that went down. The fact I took the piss out of myself when he was trying to take the piss out of me just totally diffused him. You know?
Yeah.
You
There we
don't
go.
understand, do they? Humor is the best defense against a lot of these.
Mr. Sensible, I meant to ask you: is Gary Waibenga your like fourth place spirit animal? I think of him like that.
I don't know. I did see. I saw someone mention that. My fourth place spirit animal. I'm not sure. It would have to be somewhere behind fluffy kittens, of course, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure what position. Oh, Gary Waibenga, he's precious. He is.
He's all right. He's all right.
I find
a while
Gary
ago
all
in
right.
my previous channel, I banned him. I blocked him. He pissed me off for some reason. And then now in this new channel, a little while, I think he messaged me like, you coward, unblock me. I said like, yeah, it was my bad, I took it too far, but he's cool.
I pin his
hang
comment.
out. Yeah, most of the time that I do my live show, he's always in Discord over there chatting with us and yelling at us and stuff. It's always funny.
Well, you never know. Gary may just suddenly see his Blackpool Tower and change from the flat to the globe side.
Everyone's got their own kryptonite, right?
Yeah.
But I always pin those guys' comments. I mean, I've got 4 people blocked. That's it on my entire channel. But they're because they're just absolute, what. But the rest of them, like I just see a lot of them as just trolls. Gary Waibenga, he's not. He's a pin-worthy person, because he always comes back and responds to the people. So he keeps my audience engaged in a debate.
Yep. I agree absolutely. I mean, I have more than that banned, because there was one night I had a particular attack. I've forgotten who it was, but this person kept creating sock accounts, and I had about 10 or 12 socks that the mods were having to block.
Oh, lucky you! I had hundreds. When my first time on my channel, hundreds. Like,
but I mean, those were genuine. They had hate speech in and stuff like that. I don't squash dissenting opinion. I mean, I've made it very clear to Gary, and he's totally aware. And PJCnet is another one, and it's absolutely fine. They can post stuff evidencing their flat Earth belief, and that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, from what I've seen about Gary and PJCnet, they seem perfectly reasonable people, except for the whole flat Earth belief. But they're, sensible people. They're nice, and very polite, at least.
Well, Steve Wilson's pointing out Right the Hand. Yeah, Right the Hand was probably about the first person I blocked. He was disgusting. And of course, if you haven't seen it, I do have an old video going back, because he was supposed to be having a debate with me, and he got himself a 24-hour kick from the Discord server by Colon for blocking the mods, which I thoroughly support the kick. And he was moaning and whinging and saying, I can't come on there. I said, no, it's just a 24-hour kick. You can come on the stream, and it would just be me and you with our debate. And I had 3 videos prepared for the 3 scenarios. Him turning up and having to be booted because he just gave a load of hate speech, him coming on and having a debate, or him not coming on. And what he actually did was he came into the side chat, and I had a 15-minute timer, and people were saying, go on the stream, and he was moaning and bitching. We said, no, you can come on. I had mods watching the Discord, so that as soon as he came on, I would be made aware, so I could get him onto the debate. And timer was ticking down, 15 minutes, and then I made sure that Colon was aware, don't let him in now, he's had his chance. And I played videos showing him admitting he was a globe earther. How embarrassing that was. And he and also played a short video by MC Toon, who gave a story about Right the Hand, and a bunch of emails I gave, because when I was in email conversation to arrange the debate, I said, look, I regard this all as confidential. And during the course of our discourse, he published 2 or 3 of my emails. So when it came to it that he didn't come in, I published a bunch of his, including him demanding that I kick Colon off as a moderator, and I make Right the Hand a moderator instead. So he was totally bitch me. So yeah, he was at that point banned.
Yeah.
That was sweet.
That character is not even worthy of my mention of my sexy Puerto Rican accent. I don't gonna give me any R's, you know.
Puerto Rico.
Mr.
I can't
Sensible,
roll
talking-
my
That's
R's.
probably, I can't roll my R's either.
No.
Mr. Sensible, can
Yeah.
you hear me? Talking about Gary Abenga, he is in the waiting room if you want to have him on.
He is indeed, but I'm going to get a couple of others on first because
That's
Gary's
up to
only
you.
just joined, and Gary was on I think last time. I'll tell you what.
I need to get out of here. I need to get out of here.
Okay,
Like,
Jose, the door's over there on your left. You're welcome. Thank you very much for joining us. But before you go, Jose, I would like to ask a simple request of you. Could you
Please.
choose 2 people that are in the live waiting room for me to drag onto live? Any 2 that you... yeah.
That is excellent. I see some old dude. He was in the
Okay.
chat box up here, but I know that Next Pro, I spoke with him, and he
Okay.
could be a good person to ask questions. Maybe Next Pro, and maybe Gary Webenga, so you can have a little bit of a diversity. Maybe tell him like, hey, let's speak for 10 or 15 minutes, and then we'll switch around. So he's
Well-
ready to hit the A, unless you want to keep in the rest of the show, which it could be fun. But thank you very much for inviting me.
Very
Mr. Consigo.
welcome.
Everybody, check Jose, JG, boom, and subscribe to the channel.
Boom.
Let's get it to 500.
Boom.
Thanks, Jose.
Not
You take
everybody.
care. And I just had a free super chat from David Oliver, member for 11 months, saying, I used to delete Gary Webenga all the time, but not now. Yeah, you can have much more fun in holding a discourse with people. You might learn a bit about each other. You get to make fun of each other a bit as well. And that's cool. So thank you for that, David. So let's do as Jose said. I'm going to bring the 3 in. So some old dude, Next Pro, and Mr. Webenga of the Gary kind. Good evening, Gary, Next Pro, and some old dude.
And we were talking about Brenda. Sorry, I'll stop. Hello.
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 How are
What
you?
happened to Brenda?
I'm absolutely fine. Nice to see you again. My ears recovered from last time when you put your thumb in there and you spun me around. But
Good,
other
good.
than that, everything's good.
Good. And Gary's in here as well. You got your ears on, Gary?
Thirst cat
Yeah.
check.
Apparently not. And some old dude.
Hi.
How are you?
Can you hear me?
We can
you
hear
hear
you
me,
indeed.
yes?
And thanks very much for the
Okay.
super chat earlier. Appreciate that. Can
Yeah,
you-
I'm just here to be old and creepy and interject the occasional distant memory.
Well, that's all for the good. And Jeff C, a member for 3 months, has just done a free super chat saying PJCnet needs to debate. Well, I'd be up for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so PJCnet, if you're not tonight because obviously we've got a whole bunch of people on, but PJCnet, if you would like to come on sometime and have a friendly one-to-one I'm happy just to have a discussion. It doesn't have to be a formal debate, or if you wish, a formal debate. That would be good. I'd be up for that, definitely.
I've chatted with PJ CNET before.
Yes, I think PJCnet's
very
been on
reasonable.
briefly some time ago. I've had a super chat from Marius again, £5. Thank you, Marius, saying the Earth shape is actually an icosahedron. Change my mind. Wrong answers only.
Well,
I thought it was a
think it's actually-
dodecahedron myself.
There's
No, it's a truncated. It's a truncated icosahedron, not just a icosahedron.
I think there's an actual patented projection that uses something like that. It's a bunch of flat shapes, maybe
Yeah.
triangular. I think it's a patented projection for that, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, I'm not
Also-
going along with that plan because I can't say icosahedron.
Well, that sounds a bit American, doesn't it? I would have thought it's icosahedron. What do you reckon?
Icosahedron. It's icosahedron.
Well, it's not cosine, it's cosine.
Yeah, it's cosine. Yeah, so it's icosahedron.
Icosahedron. Okay.
I don't know the Greek. I mean, it's going to be a Greek word, right?
Yeah, ico.
Ico.
I don't know. I don't know.
Is ICO a furniture company somewhere?
That's
Oh, no.
IKEA,
IKEA.
isn't it?
Oh, that,
IKEA, yeah.
wrong company.
Well,
An IKEA-hedron. Oh,
Well,
I
if
like
you're
that.
Swedish.
it was
That's
lovely.
Build it yourself, or
Yes.
It was lovely being on your show, Mr. Sensible. I really have to leave now. So
No worries,
Y'all-
Misumi.
y'all have a great stream. Bye.
Thank you. Take care then. Bye bye.
So if you give me a
IKEA.
place to stand, I can lever up that IKEA Earth. Is that what it is?
Well, I did get an IKEA Earth. Unfortunately, one of the parts was missing, so I had to send it back.
You can get a 3D print for that, I'm sure.
You probably
You have a
Actually-
3D printer.
Despite most things in IKEA being flat, they do sell meat globes. I mean meatballs.
They do with what's named sauce. That's
they're
really
delicious.
nice.
It is lingonberry.
Lingonberry, that's it. Oh,
Lingonberry
Earth is Life. Good
meatballs?
evening to you. I've had a kind super chat from Earth is Life for $5. Please ask Gary about the recent volcanic eruption in Tonga caught by multiple satellites. Hello, Gary. He's run away. Oh, he's disappeared. He's gone out the room. I'm not going to hold that against him. Oh, that's a shame. If he comes back, we'll have to ask him. So if he does come back, and I forget, please someone remind me. But yeah, have you seen some of the pictures of the destruction in the Tongan Islands? It's terrible.
Let's hope.
Oh, I've seen it.
Let's hope that
I-
the number of casualties is really, really low, and that everyone's going to be fine. Because it's just horrendous what's happened.
I know they showed
Yeah,
pictures of one island, and all but 2 of the buildings were washed away. That's not good.
I saw a headline that mentioned 35 people, I think, but I haven't seen any big numbers.
No. Well, let's hope not.
35 people is 36 people too many.
It is. I like that, and it is. It is because there was a British lady got washed away. I think she was about the first one we heard as a confirmed death. She tried to save her dogs on the beach.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate.
Yeah.
It's, our condolences to her family, obviously, because that's just a terrible, terrible thing to happen. And it just shows how dynamic this planet is that we live on.
Yes, you think of idiots like Oakley saying any evidence of a molten iron core. Yeah, a molten core bursting out, causing destruction.
The shockwave was absolutely astonishing.
Yeah, those first photos, you could see the start of the ash cloud, but you could also see the pressure wave way beyond that.
Oh, wow.
It went right around the planet.
I remember seeing old bomb films from the World War II where you could see the shockwave going out and hitting buildings and stuff. Wow.
I reckon it was larger than any nuclear explosion that's ever happened on this planet.
Yeah, because they heard it in New Zealand, didn't they?
Yeah.
I presume by then it would just be a rumble, but...
The
Was that
Sonic
even bigger
Boom
than
was going to Alaska. I saw it on a video. Yeah.
Yeah, it was felt all around the world anyway, quite largely.
And that is
By a lot of
Nimrod.
stations.
Welcome to you, Nimrod. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Hello, Mr. S. How are you doing
Yeah,
today?
not so bad. Thanks, my friend. Not so bad at all.
Yeah, they used to have a system of micro air pressure meters or whatever to try and detect nuclear explosions because they make extremely low frequency sound waves. I wonder if that network is still up. It might have tracked the explosion.
Science It Out made a nice video about places on Earth where meteorology measured the change in air pressure, and he mapped it out over time to disprove a flat map, actually.
Yep. Impossible.
Cool.
Yeah, that's where I seen it. That was very interesting.
Oh, Richard Taylor, that's actually a really good point, saying, talking about casualties, it's not a high number, but the actual population of Tonga is tiny. Good point. Percentage-wise, it may be horrific. If that was in the UK and it was that many, it wouldn't get in the news, would it? But yeah. And I mean, I don't know about the physical layout of the Tongan Islands, but I do know the Maldives, for instance, are only, I think the highest point of the Maldives is only 2.5 meters above sea level, and when you're getting hit with a tsunami, it's not good.
That's more than most of Lincolnshire.
Yeah, well, it's not saying much, so is it?
Think of how big that would be on the news if somewhere like Yellowstone National Park when that explodes, which they say that it very well could do one of these days.
I think it's... Yeah, go on, carry on.
So I don't think there's an immediate threat of that happening. They're saying
no.
it's a possibility, but not probably.
I think we're overdue, but it take many years to for the pressures to build up enough. And David Oliver says that Scotland picked up, and I'm presuming you're talking about the pressure wave, David. Scotland picked it up.
It was globally picked up, including. I think it should be the Antipodes. It would be in the middle of Africa. That was the last place that picked it up.
And there are some stations that picked it up twice.
Yeah, someone said it had come around twice, yes. And I've got Gary Wybenga in the house. Good evening, Gary. Are you ready? You've got your ears on now? Hello, Gary.
Doesn't seem so.
No. Because I had a message from Colin. I don't know if Gary's having problems with... Yeah, he's having problems with his sound and that. That can happen. Yeah. Someone said was Tonga evacuated. Someone else, David Oliver, said Tonga had no warning. My understanding is the earthquake had been erupting for some time, a few days or whatever, but it suddenly became explosive.
The volcano.
What did I say? Earthquake. Yeah, volcano. Beg your pardon. Yeah. But it suddenly exploded. Not good. Not good at all.
Yeah, they probably weren't expecting the explosion.
Well, I know that the Tunguska event it circled the globe more than once, the pressure wave from it.
And was it Vesuvius? Was it Vesuvius? They think went round 4 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was so loud.
I think it was that Krakatoa.
Krakatoa. Thank you.
Krakatoa.
Yep. I've been to Vesuvius. It's just not big enough for that to have happened. So.
Yeah, but Krakatoa.
Not anymore.
Does anyone know how this scales up as regards to Krakatoa, though?
Don't know. I think Krakatoa was worse. Well, it must have been if Tonga maybe went round twice, but Krakatoa went round 4 times. Because weren't people that their bodies would have been shattered by the pressure wave?
But wasn't it because this one was under the water and Krakatoa would have been above ground?
Well, that's going to make a difference as well, of course. Yeah.
Also remember, Krakatoa is still an ongoing event.
Yeah.
It hasn't actually finished.
Yeah.
So
sounds like Nathan Oakley, really, doesn't it?
Didn't Krakatoa completely obliterate one of the islands there? I mean, blew it off the map completely.
Yeah,
I think.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yep. There was like a double island or something. Go ahead.
The Tonga Island where the volcano was is also gone. I saw it on the pictures.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, do you think it's weird though that today the temperature was supposed to be 9 degrees, right? Today here in the UK with beautiful sunshine, and then this morning when I got up, it was 0 degrees, and it didn't even warm up to 4. Well, it got to about 4 degrees later. So that's a massive change if you think about what it was supposed to be just a couple of days ago.
Yeah,
I don't think that's anything to do with Tonga though, because dust in the atmosphere wouldn't have travelled this far yet.
Okay, well, it was worth inquiring.
Yeah, of course. Because was it back in the 80s? We had in the UK. We had a string of dismal, wet summers and fantastic sunsets, all because of some. Was that Mount St Helens caused that?
Yes, I think so.
So yeah, it certainly could affect us if it's got enough dust, but it will take months to travel round. I believe
the dust has to get up in the stratosphere to do that too.
Yeah,
it's got to get above the troposphere, or it'll just rain out.
Notice it's the stratosphere, not the stratusflat.
Good point.
Stratus plane.
Stratus plane.
Well, I heard on the grapevine. I heard on the grapevine about the conspiracy, the Tonga conspiracy. That was because in Tonga they don't have the C-19 there, right? That isn't.
Oh.
They've never had it. They've never had it. So what they've done is they've created this event so that they can get the virus there.
That's sad, isn't it?
Sake.
Oh my goodness.
That's getting ridiculous.
Yeah, it's getting ridiculous, but Nimrod, I mean, that's, to be honest, flat earthers all over, isn't it? And conspiracy people all over.
Yeah, I know, but it's still just baffling how they can come up with this stuff and believe it.
Sorry.
Huh?
I'm gonna do a little fact check here.
Well, I did see someone was saying that Krakatoa gave a tsunami of 37 meters. I believe, don't quote me on that, I think that the Tonga one, wasn't that about 2.5 meter tsunami?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I wonder how many ships you could hide behind that wave.
oh dear. Oh, who was it? I was looking at someone's video recently, and they were showing that container ship that's hidden behind the horizon. Oh, was it? Oh gosh, I've forgotten who it was now. The name
Brian's
comes
Logic.
Brian's Logic. Yes, and he was suggesting it was hidden behind a tsunami wave.
Yeah, and then it has to do with the ground going
Yes.
down in the ocean.
Yes.
What the fuck?
Yes, so that the ship could be lower because of the terrain under the water. So he's really suggesting the sea goes like that. Oh, I mean, I wouldn't want to sail over the Mariana Trench then. You're in big trouble.
Yeah.
Some old dude,
Hang on.
I think you've got your
I know
live stream
it's
play.
me.
Yeah,
There you
okay,
go,
cool.
there you go,
Thank
there you
you.
go.
Thank you. That's all right, it happens.
My browser went out of control.
Yeah, well, my whole computer did earlier, didn't it? So I'm not going to knock you on that.
I was just checking out whether Tonga really had been minus the virus. Apparently it had.
But that's
So
good.
there's a legitimate concern that the aid workers will bring it
Yeah.
to the islands.
Well, Cookie said at least 3 people have been killed and many remain missing in Tonga from tsunami waves. And Cookie said up to 15 metres, 49 feet. Well, I'd only seen the 2.5 metres, but that could have been 2.5 metres hitting America, I don't know, or wherever it was going.
Also, there were 2 different terrains that you're talking about. So the one from Tonga was under the water with just basically a floor, whereas Krakatoa was actually a mountain and you had landslides and stuff that happened. So
Yeah.
there'd have been all that debris falling in the water that would have also created the tsunami. So I think we need to know the power versus power. What which, because apparently this was quite a strong event. So
Yeah, and as for tsunamis, if I'm remembering correctly, it does actually have the height of the waves does actually have something to do with the underwater terrain, but that's when it gets closer to the land, so it's wherever you are at the time.
Hello, and the George said. I've brought in and the George said, and I've brought in Captain Welshie as well. The only one left in the live waiting room is Gary Wybenga, and I'm leaving him talking to Colon.
It's quite a crowd.
Yeah, nice crowd tonight. Cookie again saying 2 people drowned in Peru when a 2 metre 6'7" wave struck the coast, according to Wiki. I presume he's still talking about the Tonga event. Oh, and the thing is, someone said the planet's I'm not sure the phrase used, but it's a living thing, isn't it? There's movement. There will be earthquakes and movements of plates, sudden shifting and so on, causing tsunamis. We've got the risk of meteors becoming meteorites, like the Tunguska event. These things will happen. It's not a safe place. Which incidentally is my reason for being behind putting another colony somewhere, whether it's on the moon, Mars or wherever, because we can't have all our eggs in one basket forever. It might be a very low chance, but it's a chance.
The universe is a very, very dangerous place. We're just incredibly lucky to be protected by most of the planets in our solar system, but that doesn't mean we're going to be safe from everything forever, and the Earth is trying to kill us all the time too. It's just, there is nowhere to hide.
No.
Okay, we are trying to kill the Earth, so the Earth is trying to kill us.
Fighting back.
Well,
and I think
the Earth isn't a conscious being, so that doesn't really... so this type of explosion is basically steam, isn't it?
I don't know. I'll be honest and say I have not... I've seen the news reports, but I've not looked into it more than that. I was...
So
I was just going to say, I did have an email from one of the subs talking about Tonga and saying quite rightly how it proves globe Earth with things like the propagation of the tsunami, the pressure wave. And I was actually at that time planning to do a video, but I see other people have done videos about it with various aspects, so in the end I decided not to.
Right.
I mean, I saw
actually sent you just now on Discord, Mr. S. It's the Altimer change data from the shockwave as it travels across the United States. It's actually pretty cool to look at, just because you can actually see and like you can watch it as it sweeps across the entire United States.
Yeah, I mean, these are worldwide events, aren't they? They really are.
Oh yeah, I mean, I saw the actual explosion footage of it, and it's spectacular.
Can I read a comment by Ace Fox?
Yes, please do. I saw that as well. Go on.
Tonga and Krakatoa are nothing at all compared to Krakatoni PhD.
Definitely. If he goes off, we're all at risk.
Oh yeah.
Well, one will wake you up, the other put you to sleep.
Do we have any volcanologists in the chat?
I don't know, because Ian Saxby's just said the propagation of seismic waves also comports with the spherical Earth. Quite right. That would be interesting to get the seismic data and show where that was picked up around the world.
How did it go around the flat plane twice?
I don't know. Perhaps it double backed.
Well, it bounced.
That would go through the Earth.
It bounced off the ice wall. That's what it did.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
The vibration bounced
off.
That's why it keeps coming back.
Maybe the moon and the sun got in the way.
Oh, by the way, there was a rumour going around the waiting room that it was Brenda that caused the crash that you had earlier.
And why's that?
Just that's what they say. You know.
So I mean, I've been hacked. Yeah, unleash the Tony.
I wonder anything.
Third Tide says he's a volcanologist. What would you like to know about Spock? Live long and prosper. That's my best Vulcan.
See, I was gonna make a joke about the Roman god of the forge, but I guess that's more pop culturally relevant.
Yeah, live long and prosper. Live long and prosper. Definitely.
Okay.
Hey guys.
Sorry. Go ahead, Brandy.
No, I was just going to say about the shockwave traveling around the Earth. I'm sure that it was filmed by a lot of different places and have that data. Wouldn't it be great if you was to collate all that data and put it on a map and find out where the shockwave actually arrived at each location?
But that's already been done by Science It Out.
Yeah.
That I talked about before. Yeah.
Right, okay.
And I've seen graphic animations of other tsunamis, and you can see how they travel round. Funnily enough, if you show it on a globe, it's roughly circular. If you show it on a flat Earth, it's just weird. It's like the whole daylight and the sun having to be a magic shape-changing lampshade. You know?
Yeah.
It just
on the
wouldn't
AE
work.
map. On the AE map, it starts off in an oval shape, so that is somewhat possible, until it reaches Antarctica, and then suddenly it appears on the other side.
Yeah, as if by magic.
Yeah.
And talking about magic, I just had another magic super chat from David Oliver, £5, saying, Yellowstone volcano goes boom boom. We would probably be getting long winters, dark skies, and 100-foot tsunamis. Scary doomsday. Well, if Yellowstone went bang, I think it's worse than that. It would be like a nuclear winter. That's an extinction level event.
Yeah, we wouldn't survive that. I don't think. I don't think. Not many would survive that.
Exactly. It wouldn't kill the planet. It would just kill most life, but some would survive. Always have before.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. I mean, not many of us would live. And to be fair, it would send us back to the Dark Ages, right? Stone Age.
But yeah, it'd be pretty bad, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Wait, we'd all have to become flat earthers
and start learning again from scratch. Oh,
without wheels too.
So here's the difficulty. We'd lose if we lost all the electronic stuff, and nobody's printing, books, and what would we end up with? What would we be taking forward after one of these events?
I don't know, but I would suggest.
I think we all prepared for that last year with our sextants training.
But I suggest we put Mrs. Sensible in charge, because you know, she'll sort it out. She sorts me out all the time. And I just dropped in the room, Mr. Mohammed Shafiq. Hello, Mo.
How are you doing, Mr. Sensible?
Not so bad. A very, very long time since we've actually spoken.
Yeah, it's been a while, and I've been up to.
You're roboting a bit, or are you on a phone rather than a?
Yeah, I'm having to use my mobile at the minute because the kids are all on Xbox Live, battery in the day.
Well, this is where you switch it off and say sorry. I'm using the internet. But anyway, I just want to say well done for what you've been doing, Mo. I've mentioned it on my community board. I'll mention it again. Mohammed has actually been cited by, was it the Daily Mail twice? Was it Daily Mail?
Daily Mail, the Independent, the London, My London, the Northern Echo. There's been a few now.
Yep, citing his Twitter feed and hopefully a YouTube channel as well, Mo.
Yep, a few of them have put down my YouTube channel, but said that I've got a YouTube channel, but put no link.
Oh,
but,
not knowing how important it is if you... yeah. But it's all this stuff you've been doing about, well, let's see, Piers Corbyn, Kate Shemirani. Who else have you been keeping your beady eye on?
The latest thing now is all the conspiracy theorists using the crime number that isn't being investigated, saying that they've got a crime number and it gives them power to shut down these centres and serve police with fictional common law papers.
Oh yeah, them bombarding police. I've heard about that, and hospitals and all sorts of things about Charlie 19 vaccines, saying it's against the what was it, the Nuremberg, yeah, which is utter rubbish because that's against experimental medications, and the COVID-19 vaccine is approved. It's no longer experimental.
That's it. But there's been a tsunami of videos today of people going in, doing the vaccines centres and police stations.
Absolutely crazy. I will, although it's not in connection with that, I'll read Pat G's super chat. Thank you, Pat, for $5 US, saying, pretty sure FTFE cited wave propagation data from Tonga during his debate last night. Spoiler alert, it proves the globe. Nice one, Pat. Nice one, FTFE.
Nice one.
Yeah, I think it's brilliant, Mo. I mean, when you first sent me that link showing how one of the papers, I forget which one it was, the first one you sent me, had picked up on your stuff, I thought fantastic. Because you've been ahead of the press, haven't you?
I've been ahead of the press now for quite a while on Kate Shemirani getting suspended.
Yep.
I was ahead of the BBC by about 8 hours. And they put it out as an exclusive. With Piers Corbyn's arrests, I've been hours ahead of all the media. On every arrest, is on arrest number 17 now.
So you found details of 17 arrests?
Yep, of Piers Corbyn. That's just since the pandemic's happened. So
well, I said earlier, I saw on some news site he's due to go to trial in May, isn't he? For breaches during his anti-lockdown anti-lockdown protests. Sorry, not riots. That's something different. A riot is.
Well, he called for burning down of MPs' offices, and Priti Patel said she'd give the full powers to the police, and within a few hours he was out with no bail conditions.
It's difficult, isn't it? Because you'd think that is, I mean, that's incitement, pure and simple.
Yep.
Yes, Biggest Doggo says it's about time they threw the key away on that slimy turd.
He was only
alleged incitement.
He was arrested at the London Marathon as well under the Terrorism Act. So he's arrested while out on bail and still got bail.
I don't understand
how he's doing it.
No, I don't understand it either. But I do want to say well done you. Please, can a mod find a link to Mohammed Shafiq's channel and drop it?
It has been linked.
Oh, it has been done. Brilliant. Well, a second time wouldn't hurt, would it?
That is fine.
It's brilliant stuff, Mo, and it's good to hear your voice again, because I was trying to think when
there
it was.
It is again.
That was many months ago we spoke, wasn't it? I mean, we've been chatting backwards and forth, but many months ago we spoke. Good stuff.
So can I publicly thank Mr. 42 for his excellent work as well, please?
What did I do?
Well, your videos, they're great.
Ah, thank you.
Well, there we go. This is a loving now.
Yeah, I had a little walk out of the Flat Earth videos for one video. Took me a lot of hours, and it was about super soldiers from Mars.
I did see your super soldier video was there, but
saw.
Yeah, but I'll be honest, 42, I haven't watched it yet.
I saw an interview with one of those guys. Totally nuts. Totally nuts.
Oh,
totally nuts.
I would just like to address the point that PJCNet's just made. Says that Piers has even helped other people out with legal expenses. Well, that's very kind of him. Do you realise, PJCNet, that Piers accepted a £10,000 bribe to not... he was set up in a sting where this guy said that he had a lot of shares in, or his company's got a lot of shares in another company which is producing vaccinations, and he said, look, if we give you 10,000 quid, will you attack the other vaccination companies, not that one, till we can get our shares out? And he took the money. £10,000. Unfortunately, the sting was so good, despite having seen the brown paper bag with £10,000 in, they did a switch. And so when he got home, he found it was full of Monopoly money. But he took £10,000. There's your decent Piers.
I saw the video.
Yeah, wasn't it sweet?
Even pass go.
Oh, the Sun Express just super chatted $20 of the United States kind. Thank you, Sun Express, saying keep up the good work. Some dude from the Caribbean. Nice one. Enjoy the Caribbean. I'm going to the Maldives next month. Oh yeah.
I wish I could.
Oh gosh.
Oh yeah.
I don't get the island. That I don't know why. Just being on an island seems, especially with what happened recently with Tonga and just all my life I've been kind of put off of the idea of being surrounded by water, like everywhere.
Well.
To be fair, it is very unlikely that the volcano in Tonga will explode again in very short time. So you're actually more safe now than before.
Well, let's face it, George. I mean, there could be an earthquake almost anywhere. There could be, a volcano in various places that could affect. You could have a meteorite drop on your head. It could happen.
True.
But
you're right.
Hey, if I'm going to check out, I would rather check out from a beautiful island, a beautiful tropical island where it's 29 degrees. It was 29 degrees yesterday, 29 degrees the day before, and it'll be 29 degrees tomorrow, and it's beautiful.
What's that in freedom units?
Yeah, it's just a beautiful place. Beautiful place. And Chris O says everyone lives on an island. That's true. I'm not sure which country you're from, George.
I mean, aren't islands
Come on, where are you?
continents
Okay, which
different
continent
things?
you from?
North America.
Well, I suppose your only option is to quickly run up over the Arctic, then, isn't it?
The largest body of water near me is the Great Lakes, and those are the largest bodies of water I've seen, except for one trip to New Jersey as a child.
Well, I've only been to the States once. I went to Arizona and I loved it.
Oh, yeah, I saw your pictures. You went to a Tombstone, didn't you?
I did indeed, and Painted Desert, a Petrified Forest, and the Grand Canyon.
Yeah,
I loved it.
Yeah, that's one of my bucket list locations. Is Tombstone.
Yeah, it was great. I had a beer.
To read a lot of.
I know we're going a bit off topic, but I loved it so much. I went into the Birdcage Theatre. I saw the bullet holes in the ceiling. You know, the old... That's a great show. And I went down into the basement where the prostitutes used to hang out. Not anymore. And I had a beer in Big Nose Kate's Saloon. As well as going into whatever the... I forgot what the press office was called. The Tombstone... I went into the old... what was the newspaper... press place, and into the OK Corral. It was great. As well as wandering around Boot Hill Cemetery. That was really good. Enjoyed it.
Was the OK Corral okay?
It was not quite what I expected. It was comparatively small, and they tried to bring it to life by having plastic models of the various people who were in the gunfight.
Holiday.
Yeah. So it looked a little bit tacky, but on the other hand, it did give you an idea of where they're believed to have been. And then there was a sign outside round the corner. This was where one of them had managed to stagger and then finally fell to the floor and died. So that was quite interesting. It's worth a visit.
It's a pre-holodeck sort of setup.
Sensible.
Yeah. Yes.
When you went to the canyon, did you visit the turbine hall at the Hoover Dam?
No, I would have liked to have gone to the Hoover Dam. No, I only went to one place in the park. I went to the IMAX cinema to see, because I'd never seen an IMAX before at that time, and I saw a film about the Grand Canyon, and that was stunning on an IMAX. And then I went out to the rim, deliberately not looking, parked up, got out, looking at my feet as I walked out, held the railings, looked up, and my breath was taken away. 10 miles to the other side. Absolutely stunning.
It is awesome.
Yeah. Awesome's too small a word for it.
You've got to walk down it. You've got to do the walk.
Oh, we were talking about that, weren't we? But I unfortunately, I physically wouldn't be able to. But there we go. But I would like to. There must be other options. Maybe a helicopter flight. I've got to get there first. And Ace Fox has asked if my drinks will have umbrellas or not. That'll be in the Maldives, I guess. Oh, you can't have too many umbrellas in a drink.
I hope you're going to pack
You have to sip out of the coconut, though.
I thought you poured your drink into the umbrella.
I'm going to drink
umbrella.
it. Tombstone Epitaph. Thank you very much, Ace Fox. Some good Googling, perchance? Or was it just stuck somewhere in your noodle? Oh, right. Sorry, I just saw a comment from Batman. The US of America is full of lard people with a diluted IQ due to their size. Well, that's not very nice, Batman. Is it?
Sounds pretty true.
I resemble that remark.
Ah. But someone else was saying something, got interrupted, but a few minutes ago. I've forgotten who it was.
Was it talking about what we would do after like an extinction level volcano eruption, and like I remember that was a topic brought up before that I wanted to talk about, but
well, what you want is to have quickly shave your head into a Mohican, get some cool looking leathers, get an old car and put a massive V8 engine in it and go driving across Australia.
Well, I'm going to eat my neighbors to start with.
I was talking a fake Australian accent.
You're going to eat your neighbors.
Well, you gotta like salt and dry some of them out, like pemmican or salt pork or something
Who was
for
that?
the hard time.
Was that Alex Jones?
Yes.
Yes.
My hero.
I remembered it off the, like you said, eat my neighbors, and I was like, somebody said that.
Yeah.
Somebody crazy.
Ian Saxby said the Brits tend to be much skinnier because nobody can stand their food. Oi, watch it, you.
Wow, that's what
Alright, Tesco's finest sausage and mash tonight. It was great.
Oh, we had fish pie, homemade fish pie tonight, and that was excellent.
Oh, nice.
Right, a steak and chips, but there you go.
It's fried eggs and beans. Nothing better than that.
The thing is, the reason Americans think that British food is disgusting is because American food is loaded with all types of different preservatives and chemicals and stuff, and
sugar.
Most of the rest of the world has like banned, like, it's crazy when you actually look at the difference between like British Doritos and American Doritos. There's quite a substantial difference in ingredients.
Better living through
British
chemistry.
Cheetos.
Better living through chemistry. We were taught that as children.
I'll tell you what I had today. We went with Mrs. S shopping and popped into a Five Guys. Oh, those burgers are lovely. Absolutely stunning.
Nice, but are they worth the trip then?
They're really very good, Nicks. Very, very good.
Yeah.
And not cheap.
So, Mr. Sensible, do you remember The Thin Blue Line with Rowan Atkinson?
I remember of it, but I didn't watch it.
Yeah, I do.
So there was one episode where there was an armed siege at a bank.
Right.
That is now Five Guys in Watford. It's that bank, the one that was in the siege.
Well, since I didn't watch it, it sort of loses. Excuse me, it loses a lot in translation to me. I'm sorry. Martin H says Americans think Brit food is bad because everything doesn't come with double helpings and a strawberry on top. Oh my goodness. When I did go to Arizona, it was me and another guy. It was a training course, 2-week training course, and they put us up in a hotel. And each morning we would meet down and have breakfast. And there was this American chap. How shall I describe him? He was not exactly skinny, right? He was probably one of the largest men I've ever seen. Okay, fair enough. But so I arrived first. And then James arrived a few minutes later, and he come over chuckling. And I said, "What's up?" Because it was a buffet, and they had fantastic things. You know, all the fresh fruit, great big bowls of crispy bacon. Just hope it's fantastic. But he said, "Well, I was following along behind fat guy." He called him. Oh yeah. He said he walked past this massive bowl of Danish pastries. And he got some of this, got some of that, had some bacon, all this. And I thought, well, at least he ignored the pastries. And then when he reached the end, he looked at his plate, looked back at the pastries, walked back, and put 3 Danish pastries on the top as well. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
You a big boy.
He was. He was a big lad. Big lad. But I love my time in the States. And I would like to go back again.
Never have I felt skinnier than the time I went to America.
Did they sort of start feeding you for charity and stuff like that, Nimrod?
Well, they told me I needed to get some more meat in me bones, and I'm looking at them going, no thanks.
No, he didn't explode after eating a wafer thin cracker.
No, I didn't. I did quite enjoy KFC's mashed potato and gravy, though.
Well, I'm quite interested in trying biscuits and gravy. But the biscuits don't sound like biscuits and the gravy doesn't sound like gravy, so I'm really not sure what to expect.
No, it's not gravy, and it's definitely not biscuits.
No.
It's basically dinner rolls topped with lard and flour.
Doesn't sound very appetizing.
And well, sauce. You're supposed to
salt.
use the grease from like sausage or bacon or something like that.
And all the sodium you can hide in it.
Well, yes, that
I
as
also
well.
want to try
forgot.
cornbread. I want to try cornbread sometime.
Cornbread's amazing. My mom has a recipe that I could actually send it to you.
Actually,
if I
could
get
you?
her to send it to
Could
me.
you? But could you do us a small favour, George? Could you convert cups to an actual measurement?
I mean, can't you do that? I thought
No, because when they say 1.5 cups, well, how big's a bloody cup? If you could just do it
Well, it's whatever size your cup. It's whatever size your cup is. That's the point. If everything's done in cups, it's that cup that you're using. That's it.
And the thing is, I'm not competent enough with my measurements to tell you how many ounces it is because I always get fluid ounces and weight ounces mixed up. So
okay, well, send us what you got, George. I would appreciate that. We'll have a crack at it, and I'll tell you what. If I ever go, maybe I'll show it on stream.
I gotta message my mom for it though. Like I said, it's her recipe. I don't normally ask her for stuff like that, so. But yeah, it's real good, and I'm sure you'll be able to follow it. She's probably got it.
I'll have a go. I'll have a go.
If you do go back, Mr. Sensible, please steer clear of grits.
Well, that's something else I wouldn't mind trying. I'd like to try these different foods. And Tornagown, no, I've not tried Maori fried bread. I like trying different things. Sorry?
Head cheese.
Sorry, I didn't catch that.
Head cheese.
Head cheese?
Yes.
That sounds
Try
dodgy.
It is.
That sounds like something you go to the doctor for.
Yes.
It's sort of everything you get when you boil a pig's head.
Oh.
Something like that. It's gross. My dad used to get it.
Here you go, George. You could do the conversion. Ace Fox has given us a conversion. 2 cups equals 3.14 hedgehogs per cubic albatross.
That's a great.
Is that a northern albatross or a southern albatross?
Laden or unladen albatross?
Yeah, I was gonna try to make an unladen swallow joke, but.
What's your favourite colour?
I don't know.
Oh, green. Yeah.
No, blue. Yeah, I do like trying different things. When we did go to the Maldives last time, which was close on 5 years ago, I think. I'm not perhaps not quite that long. I'm not sure. I had fried fish, deep fried fish in breadcrumbs. It was reef fish. So all these cute, beautiful fishes we've been seeing and swimming with, we ate them, and they were really tasty. So that was nice. Oh, has anyone heard of That Vegan Teacher?
Oh,
yeah.
She's got a massive channel. Yes, and apparently she does sort of keep hitching her name to various chefs, slagging them off for eating meat, but linking their names in her videos to push her channel. And I thought, well, that sounds interesting. So I went onto one of her videos last night, I think it was, and she had just posted and pinned a comment by herself about anti-meat eating of meat. So I actually posted that I was a vegan once removed, that I only ate animals that only ate vegetables. I don't know what her response to that was. Because apparently she does get quite stroppy about it.
Yeah, I think it's only for effect though, isn't it? It's not. It's just
Like persona.
Really.
Yes.
Yep.
And like Homer Simpson said, if God didn't want us to eat these little animals, he wouldn't have made them taste so good.
Indeed.
Indeed.
Thank you, Purple Snowdrop. I'm going to get a conversion chart for cups. Excellent. Appreciate that. I tell you what, George. If the George mummy says here's the recipe, I will genuinely have a crack at it because it's just something I want to try. I don't know.
I know.
Sure it's not too difficult either. I know it's like cornmeal and like 4 other ingredients. I'm pretty sure. So
I don't even know what cornmeal is.
Well,
ground up corn.
Just ground up.
Polenta. Semolina.
You know, my daughter is gluten intolerant. So an awful lot of these gluten-free breads and stuff are usually have the wheat flour replaced with corn flour.
Yeah.
So if you have a look in the gluten-free section of any supermarkets, look at the ingredients. You'll probably find cornbread in there, and when it's toasted, it smells, and you put butter on it, and it smells like a corn on the cob with butter on it. It's just amazing.
If you want an obscure American food, next time you're in the Midwest, get some persimmon pudding.
Now, persimmon, that's a fruit, isn't it?
Yes, it's a fruit.
But it's not one we have in the UK.
Sharon fruit.
It's not commercially grown much because it's like only ripe for a day or something, and the birds always get to it.
Okay, well, next you just said Sharon fruit.
I think it's a Sharon fruit. Yeah.
But if it is, I have tried that. Star fruit I've tried as well. That's an amazing looking thing.
Have you ever had a rhubarb pie, Mr. Sensible?
I've grown rhubarb, but I don't particularly like. You have to put so much sugar in it because otherwise it tastes bloody horrible.
Right. Yeah.
That's where you should get the champagne rhubarb.
But I've also found that rhubarb can be really stringy. It's just something about it. I mean, I have eaten it with a lot of sugar and cream on as well, but other than that, yeah.
It's like something bad happened to celery.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, that's not saying much because I can't stand celery either. So celery worse. In Saxby says persimmons are like big orange tomato growing on a huge tree. Well, there we go.
Fried green tomatoes. And some okra.
Okra. I quite like okra.
Ooh.
Yeah. Hey, we turned into a cooking channel once again. It does happen from time to time, doesn't it? Because someone mentioned whoever it was who makes up recipes that he's given and films himself. He did one that I suggested, which was hideg gyümölcsleves, which is Hungarian cold fruit soup. He possibly had the right ingredients, but it ended up, and I'm sure he won't mind me saying, it ended up more like a thick paste than a runny soup. But there we go. He had a crack at it, and I'll have a crack at this cornbread, because I'm dying to know what it stands like.
Yeah,
Tastes like, I mean.
I've messaged her. She hasn't opened up the message though, so.
Hey, I'll tell you what, George. Make sure when you send it to me that well, obviously I'll have your address then, won't I? Because what I'll do is I'll send a picture to your mum.
Yeah.
And I'll give her marks out of 10, and she can mark what it looks like as well.
Yeah, I'm sure. See, the only thing I think my mom does differently than most people who do cornbread is at a certain point you take the bread out and you sprinkle a layer of sugar on top. That way it caramelizes on top and it's just a little bit melted into the bread, and it gives it just a sweet and kind of crunchy feel. It's really good. I think you'll have a lot of fun with it.
Well, excellent.
I will say it tastes more like cake than it does any type of bread. Something I used to do with it was after it sat for a few days, because we'd always have leftovers, and stay in the fridge for a few days, and I'd take the whipped cream that we'd have for ice cream, and I'd put it on the cornbread, and I'd eat it like that, just because it was nice and sweet, and yeah.
Yeah, see, I can't even really imagine the texture, because I've seen some photos. It almost looks as though it's deep fried. Other times, it's more like bread. I don't know. So I'm just so looking forward to trying it at some time.
I there's a lot of different, because I've had things that people made that they called cornbread that I did not even think was close to cornbread. I don't know if they had it wrong, because I'm pretty sure most other people make the kind my mom makes, but
well, it's probably one of those things where in certain areas of the country the recipe's different or the style is different.
Yeah.
I mean, in the UK, there's all sorts of dishes that can be quite local. There's one that I really like, which is only a smallish area of the country, which is lardy cake, and I absolutely adore that. And a cake with lots of lard in sounds horrible, but until you tried it, because some does tend to settle to the bottom, so you get this crisp but slightly greasy bottom to it, and then it goes into a drier sort of texture, and it's just lovely, but it's so hard to describe to anyone. Yeah. Anyway, guys, we're now at 11:05. This stream's varied from psychoanalysis of myself and Ranty at the beginning, and Ranty dropped out, and I brought him back in. He's dropped out again. I don't know where he's gone, but never mind. Through to cornbread.
And I started eating because of that.
Why not?
And
not
a stroopwafel in sight.
No, and John F says lardy cake is great here in Portland. Wow.
There's a dish the Southern Confederate soldiers used to eat, where they took hunks of fat, because that's all the meat they had, and they'd melt it sort of in a pan and mix the cornmeal in with it, and it was called sloosh.
Sloosh.
And that was supposedly really delicious.
That's the thing. A lot of these really delicious things just aren't very good for you. That's the problem, isn't it? See, I think that's a proof against God, because if there was God and he wanted you to eat healthy, he'd make all that sort of stuff healthy, wouldn't he? Go on, have another fry. Yes, I must. I'm trying to be healthy.
Temptation, but deliver us from evil.
Yeah.
Thou preparest the table before me, full of tasty food.
Well, I'm going to say thank you, guys. What I'll do is I'll chuck you all back into the live waiting rooms. There's quite a bunch of you here. and I'll round off the stream and I'll come and chat with you for a few minutes. We've still got we have someone else. We've got Gary Wybenga is still there, but there's someone else called Grubus who has appeared and disappeared a couple of times. So my apologies, Grubus, that you didn't get in.
He didn't want to come in.
Oh, he didn't want to.
No.
Okay. We must make clear to people that they are at risk of being pulled in.
He told Colin. Yeah.
Yeah, but Colin won't necessarily tell me.
I see.
That's the risk.
That is a risk, as you well know, don't you, Mr. 42?
Oh, I know for sure.
All right. Well, listen. Thank you very much, guys. I've really enjoyed it.
Thanks, Mr. S.
Thank you.
Thanks for
press the eject button.
I will. I'll chuck you all in just from the top to the bottom. Good night, guys.
Thank you, sir.
And so it's goodbye to Anne the George said, and Captain Welshie, and Mr. Mohammed Shafiq. Check his channel out. Mr. 42, check his channel out. Bye bye. Nimrod and his cat. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Bye bye. Peter Afanas, aka Charney. Unless there's more. Is there any more letters after that? I don't know if it's just cut off.
No, it's not. It's all.
Because the only Charney I know is from June.
It's the nickname from a game.
Ah, okay. Well, thank you very much for joining us, Peter. You're welcome to stay as long as you fancy in the live waiting room. We'll kick it around for a while. And anyone out in the stream, if you want to jump onto my Discord and just chat with these guys, feel free. And last of all, but not least, some old dude. Thank you again tonight.
Oh, thank you.
I'll see you around. Bye-bye. So, everyone, thank you very much for joining me. Do keep an eye out because, as I said, I am going to be doing this psychoanalysis analysis. I think that someone said it's an analysis by a psycho. I'm not sure. We'll see. I'll work on that tomorrow, so hopefully we'll get it pretty soon. I left you in this, some old dude. I actually yeah, it's still in there. Well, you stay with me for the rest of this then, okay? Because I'm just rounding off. Members, subscribers, patrons, thank you very much. All the super chats, thank you very much. I appreciate each and every one of you. I really do. So please take care of yourselves and stay sensible. And good night.
Mr. Sensible, Mr. Sensible, bring me some cheese, and get me only the best if you please. Here are some flowers, let me display them. Yea, Dr. Warrow, you have Arnold slay them. Mr. Sensible, you are a man. Every subscriber is a faithful fan. Bring your logic and your cheese. Mr. Sensible, help us out, please. Mr. Sensible, I needed proof of gravity, so I jump off the roof. It had not let me go further. Why was I ever such a darn flat earther? Mr. Sensible, I'm such a clown. I am the laughing stock of the town. Bring your logic and your cheese. Mr. Sensible, help me out, please. Mr. Sensible, bring me a sphere, to which the waters of the oceans adhere. Have explanations, but let me be candid. So clear that Robert Flerf must understand it. Mr. Sensible, please hear my call. The earth is not flat, so let's have a ball. So bring your logic and your cheese.